Completing the square is a way of rewriting a quadratic in a different form. This first example says write x squared plus 6x minus 2 in the form x plus a squared plus b. So a and b are going to be numbers that we're going to find out by changing the way this is written. The first step to complete the square is to take the b term, the middle term, the x coefficient, which is 6 at the moment, and half it. So divide it by 2. And we're going to write it as x plus, so half of 6 is 3, x plus 3 squared. Now let's quickly go over what x plus 3 squared is. So if we've got x plus 3 squared, that means x plus 3 times x plus 3. And if we expand that, we get x squared plus 3x plus 3x plus 9, which is x squared plus 6x plus 9. So we wanted x squared plus 6x. That's what we want, but we don't want the plus 9. So what we do is we always take away this number squared. So 3 squared, take away 3 squared, so take away 9. So now I've got x plus 3 squared minus 9, which is x squared plus 6x. So it's x squared plus 6x plus 9 minus 9, so it's just x squared plus 6x. And we've also got a minus 2 on the end, so I'll write that on the end. And then all we have to do is simplify. So we've got minus 9 minus 2, which is minus 11. So the answer is x plus 3 squared minus 11. Okay, one for you to try here. If you aren't ready to give it a go, just watch this and it can become another example. So we've got x squared minus 4x plus 9. So we are going to take our b term, the middle number, which is minus 4 at the moment, and half it. So that will become minus 2. So x minus 2 squared. And if I expanded this, I'd get my x squared and my minus 4x. But I'd also get a plus 4, which I need to get rid of. So we're going to take away 4. Take away this number squared. And then we've got the plus 9 on the end. So we'll write that on the end. So this x plus 2 squared minus 4 is the same as x squared minus 4x. And then we've got a plus 9 on the end. All we do now is simplify. So we've got minus 4 plus 9, which is 5. Okay, another example. So write x squared minus 8x plus 3 in the completed the square form. So we're going to take our middle number, our negative 8 this time, and half it. So we've got x minus 4 squared. If we expanded this, we'd get our x squared and our minus 8x. We'll also get a plus 16, which we don't want. So we take away 16, taking away this number squared. Take away 4 squared. And then we plus 3. And simplify. So we've got x minus 4 squared minus 16 plus 3 is the same as minus 13. Part B says, write down the turning point of the graph, y equals x squared minus 8x plus 3, which is the same quadratic we had before. So y is equal to x minus 4 squared minus 13. And we use the completed the square. We use that format to find a turning point of a graph, of a quadratic. So where the graph stops going down and starts going up, the minimum point. And we do that by looking at what x has to be to make the bracket 0. The smallest thing that this could ever be is 0. So x minus 4 squared. The smallest thing it can possibly be is 0 because we're squaring it. So if you square a negative, you get a positive. So the smallest thing it can possibly be is 0. So what does x have to be to make it 0? That's 4. So x is equal to 4. And then if this is 0, what's left? What's y? So if that's 0, y is negative 13. So y is negative 13. So the turning point is at 4, negative 13. Okay, one of these for you to try. So give it a go. So write x squared plus 10x minus 5 in the completed square form. So we're going to take our middle number, which is 10, our b term, and half it. So we're going to have x plus 5 squared. Then we're going to take away 5 squared, which is 25. And we've also got a minus 5 on the end. So simplifying, we've got x plus 5 squared minus 30. So what's the turning point? So if y is x plus 5 squared minus 30, what does x have to be to make the bracket 0? That's minus 5, negative 5. And then if x is minus 5, what is y? Y is negative 30. So the turning point is at minus 5, minus 30. Okay, this time we've got odd numbers as our b terms, and that makes this process a bit harder. So I'll go through this example. We've got x squared minus 5x minus 2. So we're following the same steps. We're going to half our b term. So half of 5, I'm going to write as 5 over 2. So we've got x minus 5 over 2 squared. And then we're going to take away 5 over 2 squared, which is 25 over 4. And we've got a minus 2 on the end. So we need to simplify this. And we can write minus 2 as minus 8 quarters. So 2 is the same as 8 over 4. And then we can take away the fractions because they both have the same denominator. So we've got x minus 5 over 2 squared minus 25 over 4 minus 8 over 4, which is minus 33 over 4. And then write down the turning point. So y is equal to x minus 5 over 2 squared minus 33 over 4. So what makes the bracket 0? What's x got to be? That's 5 over 2. And if x is 5 over 2, what's y? Minus 33 over 4. Okay, one for you to try. So give this a go. So that's half our b term. So that's going to become 3 over 2. So x plus 3 over 2 squared. And then take away 3 over 2 squared, which is 9 over 4. And we've got plus 10 on the end. We can rewrite 10 as 40 quarters, 40 over 4. So x plus 3 over 2 squared minus 9 over 4 plus 40 over 4. And then we can add the fractions, which is going to be 40 quarters. Take away 9 quarters is 31 quarters. So x plus 3 over 2 squared plus 31 quarters, 31 over 4. And what's the turning point? So if y is x plus 3 over 2 squared plus 31 over 4, to make the bracket 0, x is minus 3 over 2. And if x is minus 3 over 2, y will be 31 over 4. This time, in this example, we've got a coefficient of x squared greater than 1. So we haven't got 1x squared. This time we've got 2x squared. And you can see the form we're being asked to put it in is now a times x plus b squared plus c. To do this, what we do is we take 2 out as a first step. So we have a bracket, 2 on the outside. So we're factorizing 2 out of this expression. So 2 times x is 2x squared. 2 times negative 4x is negative 8x. And 2 times 3 over 2 is 3. So we've taken the 2 out of it. And now with the bit inside the bracket, we follow the same steps we followed before. So I'm going to have 2 outside the bracket. I'm going to half the middle number, which is going to be negative 2. So we're going to have x minus 2 squared. Take away 2 squared, which is 4. And we've got a plus 3 over 2 on the end. So let's simplify this. So I'm going to change 4 into 8 over 2. So I'll change 4 into 8 over 2. And then I can add the fractions. So I've got negative 8 over 2 plus 3 over 2, which is negative 5 over 2. And then I'm going to multiply through by 2 again. So there's only 2 terms here. So there's this is one term, and this is our second term. So 2 times x minus 2 squared is just 2 x minus 2 squared. And 2 times 5 over 2, or 2 times negative 5 over 2, is negative 5. So that is our answer. Write down the turning point. So what makes the bracket 0? X will be 2. So to make the bracket 0, x is 2. And if the bracket 0, we'll have 2 times 0, which is 0, minus 5, which is minus 5. So the turning point is at 2 minus 5. Okay, one for you to try. So give this one a go. The first step is to get rid of the 3. And we're going to do that by factorizing. So we'll take 3 outside the bracket. 3 times x squared is 3x squared. 3 times 2x is 6x. And 3 times a third is going to make 1. And then we're going to follow the same steps. So we're going to half our middle number, which is 2. So that'll be x plus 1 squared. We're going to take away 1 squared, which is 1. And we've got the minus a third on the end. 1 is the same as 3/3. So we've got x plus 1 squared. 3 times x plus 1 squared minus 3/3 minus another third is minus 4/3. And then we're going to expand the bracket. So 3 times x plus 1 squared is 3 times x plus 1 squared. And 3 times minus 4/3 is minus 4. So what's the turning point? What makes the bracket 0? That is minus 1. So x is minus 1. And if the bracket is 0, what's y? Minus 4. In this question, we have an equation. We are told that x squared minus 4x minus 2 equals 0. And we are being asked to solve. So solve by completing the square. And we'll leave our answer in third form. So the first step is going to be to complete the square. So we're going to take our minus 4 and half it, which will be minus 2. So that would be x minus 2 squared. We're going to take away minus 2 squared, which is 4. So take away 4. And we've also got the minus 2. And that's equal to 0. So that means we've got x minus 2 squared minus 6 is equal to 0. Now we're going to start solving. So we plus 6 to both sides to get our square by itself. So x minus 2 squared is equal to 6. And then we square root both sides. So if we square root x minus 2 squared, we just get x minus 2. And if we square root 6, we get plus or minus the square root of 6. So that's where our two different answers are going to come from. And plus 2 to both sides will get x by itself. So x is going to be, I'll write the 2 on the front, so 2 plus or minus the square root of 6. So we've got two different answers. Either x is equal to 2 plus root 6, or x is equal to 2 minus root 6. Okay, one for you to try. So give this one a go. So x squared plus 8x minus 3 equals 0. We're going to complete the square. So half our middle number, half the 8, which will be 4. So x plus 4 squared. If we expanded this, we'll get x squared plus 8x, but we'll also get a 16, which we don't want. So let's take away 16, and we've still got the minus 3 equals 0. So that is x plus 4 squared minus 19 equals 0. We plus 19 to both sides. So that's x plus 4 squared is equal to 19. Then we square root. So square root both sides. So x plus 4 is equal to plus or minus the square root of 19. Then take 4 away from both sides to get x by itself. So it'll be minus 4 plus or minus square root 19. So x will be minus 4 plus root 19, or x can be minus 4 minus root 19. Okay, let's finish up. 2 questions. Pause the video, give them a go, and press play when you're ready for the answers. Question 1. So we're going to half our minus 4, which is going to be minus 2. So that will give us x minus 2 squared. And if we expanded x minus 2 squared, we'd get x squared minus 4x, which we want, but we'll also get a plus 4, which we don't want, so we'll take away 4, take away the 2 squared, and then we've still got the minus 7 on the end. And then we simplify, so that's x minus 2 squared minus 11. Write down the turning point, so y will be equal to x minus 2 squared minus 11. What makes the bracket 0? What does x have to be for the bracket to be 0? That's 2. And if the bracket's worth 0, what's y? Minus 11. Question 2. Same steps, just harder numbers. So we're going to half the middle number. So we're going to have x minus 5 over 2 squared. We're going to take away 5 over 2 squared, which is 25 over 4. And we've got a plus 10 on the end. 10 is the same as 40 quarters. So we've got x minus 5 over 2 squared minus 25 over 4 plus 40 over 4. And then we can simplify. So 40 quarters, take away 25 quarters, is 15 quarters. So x minus 5 over 2 squared plus 15 over 4. And write down the turning point. So if y is equal to x minus 5 over 2 squared plus 15 over 4, the smallest thing we can possibly get is when the bracket equals 0. So x must be 5 over 2, and if x is 5 over 2, y is 15 over 4.